What's going on, Hawk fans? I'm Timothy Brown here with Michael Najarian, and we're here for another parking lot preview. Game 21, we're past the halfway point as Hyannis travels to Falmouth, taking on the Commodores today. It's going to be a fun one. Hyannis struggling in their last couple of games, 0-3-1 in their last four. Mike, what do you expect today?
Yeah, it's I think we're at the point now where we can call this game a must-win game. The month of July has not been very kind to the Harbor Hawks, and it's been very kind to the Falmouth Commodores. They are 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. And, with that stretch combined with Hyannis, slumping a little bit, these two teams are tied atop the West Division right now. So this game, first place is up for grabs tonight. And, it's Hyannis coming off a disappointing loss last night to Bourne, 12-6. They were up 5-3 in the top of the fourth before we entered a thunder lightning delay where it didn't end up raining a whole lot, but the roughly hour and a half delay that ensued, after that, Mitch Carricker said, it kind of changed the outlook of the entire game. The offense, they got their hits, but they just could not lead. They just could not bring guys in. They had 17 runners left on base last night, Tim. That's not what you want. They left the bases loaded at least 2 innings.
Maybe even 3.
Yeah, 3. If you told me 3, I'd believe you. It's just they just were not driving in runs. The pitching staff has really fallen to earth lately. They've given up double-digit runs in their last 2 games. It hasn't been going well for the Harbor Hawks, that's for sure.
Absolutely. That pitching staff, it gets tougher and tougher as you go into the season here, as guys start shedding off, going to Team USA. A couple are going to be going to the draft in a couple of days, so we'll see how Hyannis adjusts to that. But right now, as you said, the Falmouth Commodores are coming into this with every advantage possible. They're on a big, momentum streak coming in here, not necessarily a win streak, I don't believe, but they also have home field advantage. Mike, what are we going to see out of the hosting Commodores today?
Yeah, so we're going to see T.J. Coates on the mound today, right-handed pitcher from Nebraska who's in the transfer portal right now. Las Vegas native. He's 1-2 this season for the Commodores, 3.78 ERA, 1.08 WHIP in just under 17 innings pitched. He's made 2 starts, 2 relief appearances, so this is going to be his 3rd start, 5th total appearance of the season. His last time out was July 3rd against Catuit. He was a long reliever out of the bullpen for these guys. 4 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. Did get tagged with the loss. But then his appearance before that was against Harwich just before the end of June. 5 innings pitched, also out of the bullpen. Just 1 run, 2 hits. Struck out 8.
Wow.
So, he's had his moments this season. He's a good pitcher. He's a good pitcher for these guys. It's not what Hyannis is looking to see tonight, needing a win today. But, just like I said before, the offense has been hitting. They've had a little bit of trouble scoring guys once they get on base. I think if we can get a couple of those guys in early and even in the middle of the game, I think we're going to see a much different result for the Hawks tonight.
Absolutely. Super important for the Harbor Hawks to stretch out their scoring today. As we mentioned with the rain delay last night, they were scoring early, trailed off towards the end. I believe it was the first 3 innings the Hawks scored 5 runs, and the 6 innings following, they only scored 1 for the rest of the game. And obviously, stranding a lot of base runners, definitely going to be a point of emphasis today. But something else we mentioned, the pitching staff has seemed deflated. Richie Roman is going to try to turn that around today as he takes the bump. I believe his 2nd start of the season for the Hawks.
It'll be second start.
Second start. Yep. Second start. In his last start, he went 5 innings in a 3-2 win over the Yarmouth Den. The Red Sox, a very tough earned outing for him, not a win, because the game was tied until the bottom of the 8th there, where Hyannis almost broke it open.
But they got the win anyway.
Absolutely, they did get the win anyway. Richie Roman in that start managed the game well, gave up just 3 hits through 5 innings, only 2 strikeouts, but he was pitching to weak contact very well, and that's something he'll look to do here against a hot Falmouth Commodores offense. What do they got going, Mike?
Yeah, well, first of all, you mentioned pitching to contact with Richie Roman. That's kind of his recipe. That's kind of how he gets things done. He's really doesn't rack up a lot of strikeouts. So it really is about, if you can induce the pop up, if you can induce the ground out right at somebody with a runner on base and maybe get a double play out of it. That is how he's going to beat hitters And Falmouth, they got a good lineup here for Richie Roman to go against. One of the guys, Micah New, outfielder, 360 batting average, 693 slug, 1122 OPS. He's got 7 home runs, 7 walks, 18 RBIs, and he's scored 20 runs on his own.
Wow.
So he's been a force for the Commodores so far. Antonio Morales, another outfielder for them. He gets on base really well. He's got a 418 on base percentage. Doesn't have a lot of power. He's got a slugging percentage in like the mid 350s, but he does get on base. He has 19 hits. Only 2 of them are for extra bases. So, like I said, he's not going to be a power. I don't think he's going to be a power threat, but he does get on base, and that's something the Hawks are going to have to worry about, obviously. He's got 4 RBIs, 11 walks, 15 runs scored, and really the Falmouth offense as a whole, they're first in the Cape League in home runs with 18, second in RBIs with 87, first in stolen bases as well with 48. So Stone Lawless, the catcher for Hyannis tonight, he's going to have his hands full. They're also first in runs scored as well with 103.
Wow. That is a lot of offense, Mike. This is definitely a team trying to take a surge into first place, and they'll try to do it tonight. On the other side, the Hyannis offense trying to prevent that. The run scoring, might I be ambitious to say, has not been the issue. Last night, there was a lack of coming through, but still, scoring 6 runs in a baseball game is going to win you it a majority of the time, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
They just couldn't get it done as they gave up double the number of runs to the Bourne Braves. So, I know you can look for guys like Matt Mura. He's hitting in the leadoff spot today. He could take off a little bit. Ryan McKay had an incredible night last night. Went 2 for 6 with 3 RBIs.
He's right back in there, yeah.
Yeah.
You got Jeff Luigi in there as well. We've seen some more positive strides from him. Charlie Bates as well. He's in there once again, his 3rd straight start. He's playing shortstop today, and he got a triple against Brewster on Sunday. He got on base twice, and in a game that didn't have a lot of bright spots, that was a bright spot.
Yeah.
And then last night against Bourne, he had a 3-hit day.
Yeah.
He was getting on base.
And he scored a pair of runs.
He scored a couple runs as well. So he said it. His confidence is starting to build. Like I think that's why he's getting the start again. No reason to think he can't keep that going because clearly he's feeling good right now.
Absolutely, he is feeling good, and we'll see how the entirety of Hyannis feels coming out here against a very tough opponent. Mike, let's get into it. Score prediction, player of the game prediction. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I think we've got a Falmouth offense that's really good. We've got a Hyannis offense that has been producing. Like you said, the offense I don't think has been the problem. It's just been kind of scoring guys once they get on base. And I think we're due for a big bounce back day from the pitching staff. Like I said, they've given up double-digit runs 2 straight games, 10 to Brewster, 12 to Bourne. I think Richie Roman and the way he pitches, I think that's something the Hawks could use a little bit tonight. And also, last night, we didn't talk about this, they had 5 errors. The Hawks did in the field. That also doesn't tend to lead to winning baseball games. So I think even if you only have like 1 or 2 errors tonight, I think that's a vast improvement already. So I think I have the Hawks getting back on the horse, getting a win today. In terms of scoring, I think it's going to be a close game just because of how well Falmouth is going right now. And I think it's going to be a little high scoring as well. Give me 7-6.
7-6.
Hyannis victory with the Ryan Speciak getting a save in the 9th. For my player of the game today, I am liking. I talked about Charlie Bates' confidence. I like Charlie Bates. Give me Charlie Bates, player of the game. 7-6 Hyannis victory.
All right, I like it. Riding the wave with Charlie Bates. He's been hot recently. But I'll say another guy that was hot last night, Ryan McKay. I can't get enough of this guy, the Michigan State second baseman. He slugs out of that position, not something you typically see from that 4 spot. And he's playing DH tonight, so he's got his focus on hitting. I'm looking for some big power from him to restart the fire in this Hyannis team. They desperately need it as they're in danger of losing first place right here to the Falmouth Commodores. And Mike, I like your thinking for a high score. It's going to be a tough day. Richie Roman pitching to contact against a really good contact team.
Yeah.
They're going to get on base. They're going to score runs. but Hyannis needs to show its capability in scoring as well. I'm going to see a 9-7 Hyannis victory.
Okay.
And you know what? Why not with a Ryan Speciak save? He got it his last time here. Who says he can't do it again?
Seems like the time is right for him to do it again.
Absolutely. Mike, I think we got one thing left to say.
I think you're right.
Go Hawks!